Welcome everyone back to East Coast DNA. Another feature on festival. So for Cavendish Beach Music Festival, we will be on site. There will be a lot of content coming after the fact, but leading up to the event, we want to make sure that we did due diligence here too. So we have Ben Murphy here today to talk to us again. And Ben, I don't know how the weather's been over there. It's been a little wet over here the last couple days, but we still got a little bit of time left. So, how is the weather in PEI?
Well, I always love to get rain the week before Cavendish because, like, what are the chances of it raining 2 weeks in a row? So
Sure.
it hasn't been great, probably similar to you guys. Um, but yeah, no, it's definitely been a little wet this week for setup. But next week is looking good, so we're hoping that it'll be all dried out by the time the people roll through the gates next Friday.
Yeah, we definitely got our temperatures up in the range that we need them because and any of the days that are not completely overcast, it's been scorcher. I already got my base tan going nice and early this year, so I'm all ready to go over to Cavendish Beach.
It's good. Yeah, I know the temperatures seem not to fluctuate as much, so the temperatures look great for next weekend. So we're excited about that. I haven't got my tan yet, but I'm sure the freckles will come in here shortly.
Sure. So now I have admitted on this podcast that I don't get over to PEI as often as I'd like to. Once a year is maybe a norm. So I have not been to the Cavendish Beach Music Festival since the year Taylor Swift was there.
All right.
So I am right off the bat going to ask a fairly vague question, but I really wanted to know your opinion on what do you think sets this festival apart from other ones in the region that you've been able to maintain it for that long? Because that's going back a long time ago when Taylor was here.
Yeah, it'll be 15 years. Our first festival was our second year, but yeah, the festival's been around for 15 years, and I think, you know, obviously just the community of Cavendish is just such a it has something for everybody. So I think like people will go to the beach during the day. There's go out for a little maybe drink somewhere along the walk to the festival grounds, and so I think that plays a huge part in it, and just everything that Cavendish kind of that like coastal community town, everything that it brings to you know the festival itself. Because the festival itself is just one part of the overall experience. And you talk about, the person checking in at the campground or the person working the gas station, like those are all add to people's experiences when they come to the festival. And
Hmm.
then obviously when they roll through our gates, then we kind of take them under control. And again, we've been lucky to build a strong reputation with all of our fans, but also with tons of the acts. The acts in Atlantic Canada have kind of grown with us over the years. And then even some of the big guys like, Eric Church started as an opener back in, I think that was 2012 or something. And I think he's headlined it twice since then. And they always have a great experience when they come to Prince Edward Island too. So that helps and to keep bringing back some of the highest quality talents in the country world.
And another example of one of those artists that has kind of grown up, we had Nice Horse on already. So there's someone that was on like the more secondary stage, and now they're on the main stage this year. What are some of the other highlights this year for artists that you're bringing to the festival?
Ooh, I think Warren Ziders is going to be amazing. He's going to be opening for Zach Brown on Sunday. Nolene Hoffman, like that kind of lucked out. She's playing the kitchen stage on Saturday, and she just obviously just released that. Any song that you release with Zach Bryan is going to be a hit. So, um, for I think that set is going to be electric in there. Core Blund, come on, he's a classic. He's going to be great. And then Childers, Tyler's never been there before, so I think there's a that brings a whole new kind of a new different style of country to the
Hmm.
festival grounds. And I think there's a lot of new people coming this year. Actually, I know there's a lot of new people that he's brought to the ground. So that's, you know, so exciting. And what else? Caroline Jones too from the Zach Brown band. She's actually going to be on the songwriter circle, which is kind of cool
Cool.
on the emerging artist stage. So, some of those cool things, you never know kind of once they get on site, what can kind of pop up.
Yeah, I know you already said it yourself from your own point of view, but I have also, just from talking to people, Cavendish Beach Music Festival is one that everybody in our region's aware of, especially since it's been around for so long. So when I talk to people that are not people I know necessarily through these channels, they're all aware of it right off the bat. But I did hear of several people that Tyler's attracted that would not traditionally go to the music festival. So that is nice to see that you're tapping into a little bit of a demographic. You do seem to be able to balance that. When people hear country, there's different perspectives that people have on what country music is. And even with interviews that I've done with artists on here, some people I have referred to as country artists, and they're like, no, 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 I'm not country. But I do see that for the music festival, you're able to cover a wide range, especially having multiple stages so you can have a tiered approach to it and
I
being
think
able to raise up some of those independent artists into main stage acts.
I think that's important. Like, is I think people get caught in their own definition of country music, and that is probably my one of my favorite things just about festivals in general, is being able to showcase and or going to a festival, just being able to see bands and musicians that you've never heard of or that might catch your ear as you're walking by the tent. And that even happens to me at Cavendish. I'll just be walking around and being like, "Whoa, geez," and kind of walk over to the kitchen stage and who's playing in here now. So we've always tried to stretch like what is the country. We've even like over the years had bluegrass and some different kind of maybe that's not traditional country in there. So that's something that we're always going to be trying to do of spreading spreading the wings of the type of music that we have on site.
And having that kitchen stage off to the side, I'm curious, when Soma was going on last year, you guys really leaned into having a culinary experience. And up in that area is where you also had an actual kitchen with people cooking. So have you taken anything from what you learned last year in that and adapted it for this festival, or are we saving that for this year's Soma?
I think that's the challenge obviously when you're trying to create two separate brands, but yeah,
Hmm.
no, we're definitely saving the culinary stage and all that stuff for Somo. um you know some of the food vendors that we external food vendors that we brought in, um they had a great experience at Somo, so there'll be some crossover there for sure. But in terms of kind of the food and beverage highlights that we did at Somo last year, we'll look on growing that for Somo this year.
And for anyone that is looking for like last minute tickets, I'm curious too, is there still accommodations available around?
Yeah, I think there is, whether it be in Cavendish and, I see online that there's a few campsites kind of available. A lot of the campgrounds in Cavendish have like overflow sites that they'll
Mhm.
open for the festival weekends. So, I think you'd be able to find some last minute accommodations. And I think, people are doing that, maybe not even for the whole weekend and just coming over seeing Zach Brown or seeing Childers.
And I know that you're gonna obviously be biased, being that you own a hospitality group that owns several restaurants. But is there any key areas that people should visit while they're in the area for the music festival?
Oh yeah. There's so many like cool little restaurants in and around Cavendish. We always take the team to Chez Yvonne's the Monday after. That's like, they do a great job there. A little down the road, Blue Mussel obviously is a huge, um, kind of a staple in the area, more so now. Lost Anchor, like we, so we start cooking on site for like the crew and the bands on Thursday night, but so we order all our lunches and dinners like starting next week from all the local restaurants. So I get a good feed from all those guys for
Yeah.
sure. over the week.
And that Thursday night, is it new this year that you have a kickoff to the festival with music, or is that something?
No, we've done that for kind of on and off for a number of years. We've we've done it the last 3 years though. It hasn't been every year by any means, but it's a free event. Anyone in the community can come. Kind of gets, someone that hasn't been to the site before, gives them an excuse. Why don't we go out, figure out how kind of where we park, walk in. We've Owen Ringling this year, who's just on fire, Canadian country singer. So he'll be I think he'll bring some people out. And he's playing the main stage on Friday. So kickoff party is always fun, and it kind of helps us get the rust off a bit, rather than welcoming the 20,000 people the next day.
Yeah, yeah, no, I hear you. I do like to get to places a little early to kind of get my settings and bearings all situated, and then you can just relax and enjoy the rest of the weekend from there.
Yeah, that's great.
So, is there anything else that you would like to add today before we let you get back to your busy schedule?
No, this is my 15th Cavendish, so I'm looking forward to next weekend just as much as the fans, I feel like. And my advice to the fans would be get there earlier than you normally do. I always encourage people to get there too late and get there early, check out those acts on the kitchen stage and on the emerging artist stage that sometimes people don't get to see. So that's my pitch.
Awesome. Well, I hope to get there early myself this year. I'm still finalizing my travel plans, but I will be on site over the weekend. So I hope to swing by and say hi to you and anyone out there watching. If you see me floating around, little easier to identify this year because I have my hat branded. So feel free to stop me and say hello. And I know a few of the artists that may be watching this leading up to the event. I've already been in touch with you, so I'll be seeing you soon as well. Thank you
Look
very
forward to
much.
it. Thanks for having me.
A cold beer on a Friday night, a pair of jeans that fit just right, and the radio. Oh, oh.